Greetings, politicos, and welcome to the circus that is the current political climate. If you thought a circus was all about clowns juggling and elephants on pedestals, you're in for a surprise. The real show is right here, in the courtrooms and hallways of power, where the stakes are higher and the tricks more daring than any trapeze act. Our latest ringmaster? None other than former President Donald Trump, who's back in the spotlight and not for launching a new reality show. No, this spectacle involves allegations of conspiracy, hush money payments, and cover-ups. And just when you think the plot couldn't thicken anymore, enter stage right, the former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker, with tales of a catch-and-kill scheme to control negative stories. But wait, there's more. We've got gag orders, civil fraud trials, and a whopping $175 million bond issue. So buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive headfirst into the whirlpool of political shenanigans. Speaking of whirlpools, let's talk about the legal roller coaster that is the Trump trials. Now hold on to your hats, folks, because this ride has more twists and turns than a pretzel factory. First up, we have the criminal trial, where prosecutors are throwing around allegations like confetti at a parade. They're claiming a conspiracy to influence the 2016 election through hush money payments and cover-ups. If that's not a spicy meatball of a plot, I don't know what is. But wait, there's more. Trump's defense is standing firm, insisting he's as innocent as a newborn. They argue he had no hand in falsifying business records. I mean, who among us hasn't misplaced a few $1,000,000 here and there, right? Now, let's talk about the star witness, the former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker. Now, there's a name that's hard to forget. Pecker spilled the beans about a catch-and-kill scheme to control negative stories about Trump. If that doesn't sound like a plot twist straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, I don't know what does. And just when you thought the roller coaster was slowing down, it takes another loop. We've got Trump's legal team juggling a civil fraud trial and a $175 million bond issue. Because why deal with one legal headache when you can have three, right? So strap in and keep your hands inside the ride at all times, because this legal roller coaster isn't slowing down anytime soon. It's a wild ride, filled with allegations, denials, testimonies, and legal maneuvers that would make a seasoned lawyer dizzy. And there you have it, folks, a political drama that makes House of Cards look like a game of Go Fish. Now let's shift gears and discuss the catch-and-kill scheme revealed by the star witness himself, David Pecker. Imagine, if you will, a game of whack-a-mole. But instead of moles popping up, you have negative stories about a certain former president. And instead of a mallet, you have a hefty paycheck. That, my friends, is the catch-and-kill scheme in a nutshell. You catch a negative story, then you kill it, with cash. Now, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker stood in court and spilled the beans about this very practice. And trust me, folks, these beans are spicier than a jalapeno on a summer's day. Pecker's testimony isn't just a plot twist, it's a plot tornado. It's like finding out the butler didn't just do it, he was the mastermind all along. It's a significant piece of the puzzle in the trial against Trump. And by puzzle, I mean a 1,000-piece jigsaw of a Jackson Pollock painting. Apparently, this catch-and-kill scheme was the go-to method for controlling negative stories about Trump. It's like a game of chess, but instead of knights and bishops, you have gossip and hush money. So, what's the takeaway here? Well, Pecker's testimony might just be the key to understanding the breadth and depth of this whole operation. It's like finding Waldo in a sea of striped shirts. Or better yet, it's like understanding why cats are afraid of cucumbers. But let's not forget, this is just one piece of the testimony in a trial that's as complex as a Rubik's Cube made by Escher. There's still plenty more to unpack. And you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be as wild a ride as a roller coaster through a tornado. So, there we have it. A scheme so convoluted it could give Inception a run for its money. Moving on, let's juggle around with the gag orders and the legal acrobatics of Trump's team. Now imagine you're a plate spinner. You've got one stick in your hand, a plate balanced on top, and it's spinning beautifully. That's your run-of-the-mill trial right there. But then, someone tosses you another stick with a plate. You've got to keep them both spinning. That's the Trump team for you, dealing with a criminal trial, a civil fraud trial, and a hefty $175 million bond issue at the same time. They're not just plate spinners, they're the Cirque du Soleil of the legal world. But wait, there's more. Just when you thought they had enough on their plates, pun intended, there's an allegation of a gag order violation. That's like someone tossing a flaming torch into our spinning act. Now, a gag order, for those of you who aren't legal eagles, is essentially a court order prohibiting public discussion or reporting of an ongoing court case. It's like being at the world's most intense game of charades, trying to communicate without using words. Our legal acrobats are now trying to balance the spinning plates, catch the flaming torch and mime their way out of a sticky situation. It's like a high-stakes game of Twister, except the board is a courtroom, and the spinner is a stern-faced judge. And amidst all this, they've got to keep their cool, remember their lines, and put on a show worthy of a standing ovation. It's a performance like no other, with a cast of characters that wouldn't be out of place in a Shakespearean drama. But remember folks, this isn't theater. There are real stakes, real lives, and real consequences behind these legal gymnastics. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? But you've got to admit, it does make for one hell of a show. Ah, the life of a lawyer in the Trump team, never a dull moment, eh? Alright folks, let's wrap this up with a quick recap of our political circus. Now if you thought juggling was just for clowns, you haven't met Trump's legal team. They've been tossing around a criminal trial, a civil fraud case, and a $175 million bond issue like it's just another day at the office. Talk about multitasking. Then we have the star witness, our very own former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker. He's been spilling the beans on a catch-and-kill scheme. It's like a wildlife documentary, only instead of lions and gazelles, we have politicians and scandalous stories. Remember the roller coaster ride we took through the ups and downs of this legal saga? Well, buckle up because this ride isn't over yet. We've got gag orders, alleged violations, and a defense that insists on innocence despite the mounting evidence. Now let's not forget the plot, a conspiracy to influence the 2016 election through hush money payments and cover-ups. It's like a political thriller, only it's real life and the stakes are high. In the midst of all this, we've had some laughs because let's face it, politics can be downright ridiculous, but remember, these are serious allegations with real consequences. It's a reminder that in the world of politics, the line between comedy and tragedy can be a thin one, and that's our show, folks. Remember, in the world of politics, the circus never ends. Until next time, stay tuned and keep laughing.